Leonard, to do successful research, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know one thing that isn't known. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mary Liza from Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Science. Allow me to share to you our research, which is entitled Community-Based Participatory Action Research in Solid Waste Management as Context to Science Education. Here is the abstract of our study. So, this study aims to determine how welfare students and community members are in solid waste management practices. We would want to notice their views and behaviors to impart new knowledge that will enhance their prior knowledge of practices in solid waste management. The researchers used the qualitative approach by using the participatory action research method, and the researchers identified problems in solid waste management with the community and worked collaboratively to solve the problem. And the researchers conducted a symposium and culminating activity wherein the students, researchers, and the community members interacted and collaborated. For data collection, the researchers chose three high school students who served as respondents for the focus group discussion and conducted an in-depth interview with the selected three barangay officials. The researchers used thematic analysis in analyzing the data. And as a result of the study, the researcher developed a lesson plan exemplar for grade 8 students, specifically in solid waste management. So this lesson exemplar can be used by the science teachers in teaching to improve the understanding of grade 8 students in their topic living things and their environment, specifically in solid waste management. So these creative and engaging lesson plan exemplars, the students actually understand the concept and acknowledges the importance of solid waste management and applies what they have learned in their community. So here is the introduction to our study. In the Philippines, waste management issues have been haunting both urban and rural communities for decades. The passing of Republic Act 9003, or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, was meant to ensure the protection of the public health and the environment while encouraging resource conservation and recovery and public cooperation and responsibility. Among its critical provisions were the formal devolution of waste management to local levels, the forced closure of illegal dump sites and investment in facilities, and the reduction and proper treatment of solid waste. Municipal solid waste or MSW management has become one of the most pressing environmental concerns of the Philippines at present. So several measures have been implemented to circumvent this issue, including waste management policies stipulated in the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2001. However, the implementation of these policies, even at the barangay level, has always been a challenge. So in this study, the researchers wanted to determine how welfare students and community members are in solid waste management practices through community participatory action research or CPR. We would want to know their views and behaviors to impart new knowledge that will enhance their prior knowledge and practices in solid waste management. At the end of the study, we can develop a solid waste management environmental science lesson exemplar based on the local knowledge and new knowledge we collected throughout the study. So here is the statement of the problem. So the study were undertaken to look into the context of teaching environmental science with the participation of grade 10 students and the member of the community of Barangay Dingle, Niagao, Iloilo. Specifically, the study aims to answer the following questions. First, what are the local knowledge and practices of high school students and members of the community about solid waste management? Second, how does students' comprehension of science, living things, and their environment influence their awareness and behaviors related to solid waste management in their community? And lastly, what lesson plan exemplar can be developed for grade 8 science students specifically on solid waste management? here is our theoretical framework. So this study entails the exploration of the high school children and the community members' behavior and practices to comprehend good solid waste management for environmental consciousness. So the outcome of the study will develop a lesson plan exemplar about solid waste management as context to environmental science, which is the living things in their environment. So this study was anchored on the following. First, the contextual learning. Second, community-based participatory action research or the CP4, and the funds of knowledge approach, wherein the community members, the outcome of the study would help the community to be aware and to be active in participating in proper solid waste management. The Municipal Environment and Natural Resources Office or the MENRO, the result of the study will largely contribute the implementation of the ecological solid waste management for the ESWMP of the municipality. Local and barangay officials. So the implication of the study may inspire them to take initiative in solving environmental problems, especially proper solid waste management to provide a clean and healthy environment. So we also have students where the findings of this study will provide students with a quality education about environmental consciousness, especially in proper solid waste management as one of the contexts in environmental science, which is the living things in the environment. We have also the future researchers, and the outcome of this study would help future researchers to be aware and be knowledgeable about community-based participatory action research and solid waste management as a context to environmental science. They may use it as a future reference for our studies, and it would be help them become better analysts. So here is the review of related literature and studies. So this chapter will present a review of the related literature and related studies on community-based participatory action research and solid waste management as context to science education. So a review of related literature and conducted studies was made by certain people in certain circumstances, considering waste materials as a resource for the family, the livelihood, or the enterprise. So this will give important concepts and ideas for the development of the study. So the So our synthesis. So these researchers provide literature and studies that help complete the investigation. So the literature and research, both foreign and local, have been acquired and related in some way and are very useful in addressing the issues with solid waste management techniques in Barangay Dinggit al Iloilo, similar to how it was presented in the evaluation of the literature, which provided a more complete understanding of the subject and solid waste management. So here is our methodology. So this paper presents the research methods that we will use in the study. So it includes the research design, participants in the study, data gathering instruments, and the data analysis procedure. So let's start first to the research design. So in this study, the researchers use the qualitative approach or the method that was embodied through the series of set activities that are to be made wherein the participants, researchers, and the community members interact and collaborate to find out the local knowledge and practices of the high school students and the community about solid waste management. So the participants of the study. So our research study was participated by 10 to 15 purposively selected high school students ages 14 to 17 years old in the community. So this participatory action research, therefore, researchers are also participants in the said activity or the said study. So the insights and understanding of the researchers will be added to the study. So our data gathering instrument. So this study utilized the researcher-made questionnaire about solid waste management in gathering the data for the study. So the questionnaire was composed of three parts. So in the first part, it obtained the profile of the respondents, which include name, nickname, age, address, contact number, and residency per year. The second part, it is covered the school profile and the respondents. Then the last part covered the survey about the solid waste management practices of the respondents. The data analysis procedure. So the researchers utilize inductive semantic analysis and transcription where the precise word coding to assess the data. In our ethical considerations, the ethical approval was sought from the relevant searches ethics committee before commencing the study, so informed consent was obtained from all participants, ensuring confidentiality and anonymity. So here is our methodology wherein in figure 1, there is a thematic diagram that data analysis by Crone and Clark by 2006. In our data analysis procedure, the researchers utilize inductive thematic analysis and transcription of precise murder coding to assess the data. In our ethical considerations, the ethical approval was sought from the relevant research ethics committee before commencing the study, so informed consent was obtained from all the participants, ensuring confidentiality and anonymity. So here is our results and discussion. So we have here the thematic analysis. So in our first question, what are the local knowledge and practices of, of high school students and members of the community about solid waste management? So we have our central theme and sub-theme. So our central theme is the community recycling and segregating waste. And also our sub-themes include waste sorting, practice leads to cleanliness, littering and unlawful dumping, composting domestic waste, and segregation to unity. We also have our central theme that includes segregate your trash, reduce your carbon footprints, that includes the sub-theme such as east to waste, compound segregation to reduce waste, from waste to creative recycling, collaborate to combat waste, and control waste to avoid illness. So this is the example of our lesson plan exemplar that was made throughout our research. So, here is the summary, conclusions, and our recommendations. So, let's go first to our summary. So, this study utilized a participatory action research design, which is a type of qualitative research design to investigate solid waste management to acquire the prior knowledge, practices, awareness, and behavior of the community. So the respondents of the study were the grade 9 and grade 10 high school students and barangay officials. So the data gathering procedure involves securing permission, profiling, orientation, symposium, selecting the participants with the use of inclusion criteria, face-to-face interviews with participants, and transcribing of data. The collected data was transcribed, coded, and thematically analyzed using qualitative data analysis software. Themes were identified to understand the prior knowledge, practices, awareness, and behavior within the community. So the findings from the data analysis were utilized to develop a lesson plan example that incorporated prior knowledge, practices, and comprehension of students in the community. So the lesson plan exemplar aimed to promote prior knowledge, practices, awareness, and comprehension among students. So the summary of the findings. So these are descriptive analysis of data was revealed using the semi-structured interview and in-depth interview. And also, we use the focus group interview or the FGD with the students. After gathering the data, the researchers analyzes and transcribes the data. Then, the researcher categorizes their answers. So, the following findings of thematic analysis were formulated. So, first, we have the effectiveness of solid waste management depends on their prior knowledge, practices, and understanding of high school students and community members. Second, to maintain the cleanliness of the community, waste sorting is the appropriate action to reduce general waste. Third, solid waste management is necessary to prevent ecological disasters as a result of pollution caused by improper waste disposal. Fourth, we also have to achieve the goal of a clean environment. Everyone should take the initiative to assist and join cleanup drive campaigns to maintain the cleanliness of the community. Fifth, littering is one of the dangerous activities that should not be taken lightly because of its multiple impacts on the community. So the practices of solid waste management should be thoroughly explained to the people in the community for them to create awareness. So for conclusion, based on the face-to-face interviews, we found out that the high school students and members of the community have prior knowledge about solid waste management from their practices and experiences. So some of the members of the community are already knowledgeable about solid waste management, but some are still ignorant of the laws and regulations that the municipality implemented. Moreover, the effectiveness of the lesson plan exemplar is based in the incorporated science concept gathered in the solid waste management among high school students and members of the community. So the lesson plan exemplar can be used with the science teachers in teaching to improve the understanding of grade 8 students in their topic, which is living things in their environment, specifically in solid waste management. So these creative and engaging lesson plan exemplars, the student easily understands the concept and acknowledges the importance of solid waste management and applies what they have learned in their community. So, as for our recommendations, it is based on the study's findings. Several recommendations were made. So, first we have the barangay should consider other ways to minimize solid waste through recycling and reusing. So, the small funds generated from selling plastics should be used to maintain the material recovery facility or the MRF of the barangay. So second, the barangay officials should be strict in implementing laws about solid waste management to maintain the cleanliness and orderliness of their community. Third, members of the community must be aware of the laws and regulation of their barangay. So third, we have the researchers recommend that the members of the community broaden their knowledge about solid waste management to maintain the cleanliness of their environment. Fifth, we also have suggested that the future studies should be conducted to ensure the effectiveness of the lesson plan exemplar by evaluating students' realizations. So, we have also here a